some, the biggest barrier to faith is believing that Jesus Christ could really have risen from the dead.
But Merrow says everything hangs on that.
Paul made the argument in 1 Corinthians 15. He's like, look, you can test this. If the resurrection didn't happen, Christianity is false. It's whether you believe it or not, whether you're sincere about it, if the resurrection didn't happen, Christianity is false. Go to the next religion.
The first century Jews believed women were second-class citizens. So if the disciples were lying about the resurrection, they made their story all the harder to accept by putting women at the forefront.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, they all recount Jesus' earliest women followers finding the empty tomb. Now, that in the first century, where a woman's testimony would have been about the level of just above a slave, that would not be your best foot forward.
You never make up a story that way. This is what's called the criterion of embarrassment in historical Jesus studies, that you never make up the story this way. So the reason the story is this way is because it must be grounded in what happened.
Saying the disciples lied about Jesus' resurrection doesn't explain his appearance before 500 people. The Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians 15 suggested doubters go talk to them.
You've got living history. You've got the people who were there to cross-check whatever message is being there. So it's not as though that these things could have been invented and no one would have challenged it. You've got this idea that there's witnesses, go investigate them. It has all the ring of truth and not the ring of that conspiracy theory where they just made this thing up to invent their own religion.
Paul Strand, CBN News.